Welcome to the Defining Moments Black Men series of the Authentic Joe Show. I am your host, Jolena Johnson, and I am here with my special guest today, Mr. Cecil Parker Jr. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Can you tell us a little about yourself, your background, and how you would describe yourself?
Ooh-wee. Okay. My name is Cecil Parker Jr. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I went through the Riverview Garden School District where I graduated in '87. Went on to Central Missouri State where I graduated with a bachelor's of science in communication and broadcasting film. And then I went on a little later and received my master's degree from Lindenwood University in digital media. Um, a little bit about me. I am actively trying to make things better for my children, my children's children, and everybody else's children who know my children. So I'm just all around general fella, just trying to continue giving people opportunities. That any chance I get a chance to help somebody, that's what I do. What else you say? What else I can say? There's so much stuff in that.
How would you describe yourself?
uh, Laid back, loving, loyal. Try to be as honest as I can about things, but yeah, I'm allergic to BS and people who have yeah BS
Okay,
in their system.
we'll take it. Thank you. Well, if you had to pick a phrase that would be the theme for your life, what would it be?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
All right. Okay. And can you explain that?
I mean, it's just the fact of from back in the day, I've always I've always perpetrated, and it's my fault. I always perpetrated something that I was when I wasn't. For instance, in high school, I wore bigger clothes because I wasn't that big, but I looked like I was a bigger fella than what I was.
Hmm.
Uh, in college, they say I had the mean mug, but I was the friendliest Negro you could find. And then just in general, I don't say much, and people think I'm not paying attention, but I'm reeling in and I'm dealing on exactly how I'm going to approach you or stay away from you. So, yeah, I mean, it just goes back to like I said, my grandfather always told me, said as far as relationships go, put yourself in a paper bag, and those that hang around, they'll figure out that there's $1 million inside that bag. Those who walk past it, they just missed out.
All right. Well, don't judge a book by its cover. I love it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. So you may say, what is a defining moment? A defining moment is a point in life when a pivotal decision must be made or when an experience fundamentally changes a person. What defining moment would you be willing to share with us today?
I think the one of having to decide and also figure out what my purpose is, and that came when the pandemic hit.
Okay, so you're a man of a certain age. I know your age, which you're older than me, and we're both in our early 50s.
Really, you got to go like that, right? Right. Okay, you're right. That's true. That's truth. That's
Well,
true.
I'm gonna tell on
Ain't
you.
nothing
I
mad
had to
about truth.
tell on myself.
Yeah,
Okay.
hey, I ain't gonna say
Um,
nothing either. I'm just I'm older than you. Okay.
so you're saying that you didn't really know your purpose until 2 years ago or so.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, and what is it, and how did you discover it? What happened?
Basically, I realized that my love for video and things like that. I'm a historian. I figured out I'm a historian. I like telling people stories, and I like letting people know about certain history that they may not realize or know. And that came about, like I said, as the pandemic hit and people were getting sick and passing away and all that. I was sitting back and I'm thinking to myself, okay, now is the time to find out how can I take things that I've come and met, people I've met and places I've been, and bring it to fruition with this whole new. Because like I said, right now, by then, the whole YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff was a running, and everybody was thinking that was the way to go. And I'm like, this is also a way to put some things in the air and in the system and in the universe that no one can take away. Once it's out there, it's out there. So
Mhm.
why not use it as a way of sharing not just the places I've been, but the people I've met, and allowing people to see that they may be sitting next to greatness and don't realize it.
Mm.
I've met people, coming through Riverview Gardens. We would think that, yeah, okay, this we just coming from there, and then to have it to where years down the line we got doctors and lawyers and we got athletes and promoters and TV people. I mean, it's the fact of that whole melting pot of because Joe, whether people believe it or not, we were told that if we get out of there, you'll be able to do something mediocre. Mediocre was never not thing. It ain't never been a part of what we do. We always thought that I always felt that there was something for me to do, but not realizing that the people I was around, when they were doing what they did and I was supporting them, I was moving with them. So when the pandemic hit, it's like, okay, let me start my show. I mean, my Mr. Parker's Neighborhood is the show I decided to kick back in. I did it in college, and that's how I ended up getting to doing it here. And again, back in college, I was doing Mr. Parker's Neighborhood. Mr. Perry Johnson came to me. He was graduating and said, "Hey, you want to do something about TV and stuff? Let me show you something." I was like, "Nah, man, I'm trying to get up out of here. I'm going to get a business. I'm going to do this, that, and other." And he showed me that, and I fell in love with it. And it was
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm capturing things that's going on campus, and I'm bringing people into parties and going. I mean, different. I mean, it was just the fact of catching these different things on their campus that no one was capturing. And I didn't trip off of it. I just thought I was doing, hey, I'm just doing what I do, and this is just what's going on. And then as I get out, hey, I'm hanging around people. I'm doing TV shows. I'm doing this and this. It's just something that I do because I love it. But when pandemic hit, I sat back and it was like, wow, I got stories that ain't been told. And when
So,
they were told, people didn't pay them any attention or forgot all about them.
so let me clarify. So are you saying that you found a sense of urgency and purpose because you realized that time is not unlimited? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. I found the purpose was again telling stories that had been told and people may have forgot, and telling stories of people that no one has ever heard. So it was just trying to help people put, I guess, their footprint in the sand of life. I mean,
Okay.
and never wanting. And again, I've never been one to want to be, hey, I'm in front. No, if I can stay behind and tell your story, I'm
Mhm.
good. But in some cases, it takes people talking to you who you know that allows you to open up and you find out things that you never knew.
Okay. So, what is the importance of sharing personal stories and history?
Well, the importance of that is to me, first of all, sharing the story is a way of getting people who may see it, and people may see things at a time in their life where they're about to give up on it, or people may see things and say, I wish I knew somebody. And then they see somebody on the show who wow, that's what they do. And just a general piece of, you never know who you are entertaining. You
Mhm.
never know who you know. I mean, you may see their faces at church, you may see them somewhere, and you see them over and over and over again, but you never know who they actually are. You may know their name, but you don't know what they do. And
Gotcha.
then you find out that, wait a minute, you do such, and it may open the door for you.
Mhm.
So my thing is to helping people get their story out as well, because everybody has a story.
Okay, let me
Everybody
stop you
has
there
a story.
because for those who don't know, so Cecil hosts a show called Mr. Parker's Neighborhood, and it is also on YouTube. And
Mhm.
so, although he has been video recording for different clients throughout the years, I mean, this is what he's been doing as a grown person. It's interesting that you have just discovered, like we didn't know, but like you just discovered this is your purpose, and I think that's so interesting and ironic. And if people can really think about it, I think a lot of people go around for years and years and years wondering, floating, dibbling, and dabbling. But until they say, wait a minute, this is my lane. This is what was meant for me. I'm going to take action and I'm going to do something about it. then it's just kind of a dream or pie in the sky. So once you realize it was your purpose, just give me 3 things that you did when you had that transformative moment. 3 actual things that you did. Number 1,
I mean, if I can step back on what you just stated,
okay.
as far as finding the purpose, is the fact of for like I say, since I was in college and graduated, my thing was doing video production. I was doing video stuff, but I wasn't paying attention to the stuff I was doing. It was the fact of, hey, you hired me for this job.
It was other people's projects.
Right.
Okay.
Other people's projects and other people's purposes. So it was like I was doing the job. It was like, okay, cool, it's done. My name is on it, so I care because my name is on it. But as far as what it actually was and was supposed to do, once I finished, I was done with it.
Gotcha.
But it took the pandemic, and it was so crazy because at that point in time, that year, the job I had been doing for almost 17 years, I woke up and it was like, no, we need to leave this alone and step away. And in stepping away, mind you, I've done that for 17 years. The job before that I did for 14 years. So stepping away is like, okay, you're on your own. What you gonna do? But I felt and believed that God was like, no, I need you to wake up and see you got something else to do, man. Mm-hmm. And in stepping away from that, my value changed for myself. Mm-hmm. And then once I changed my value of self, and then was got my first job doing something else in the field still, and realized the worth of that. It's like, wait a minute, man, I've been cutting myself a little short here, and find out that people appreciate my work and what I was doing. So it changed my whole mind thought, my whole structure, and that's how I ended up coming to the fact of saying, I'm a historian. I got a story to tell, and people I know got stories to tell, and that's how the whole thing focuses back on Mr. Parker's Neighborhood. Gotcha. Now the question was about the 3.
Yeah, what are 3? Once you realize that, what are 3 steps you took? And they don't need to be in depth. I mean, just like you.
Got you. The first step I took was doing it, deciding to do the show.
Okay.
Regardless.
That's awesome. The first step, deciding to do it. Yeah, hey, I don't care what anybody. Hey, when you decide to do it, okay, go ahead. That's number 1. Number 2.
Number 2 was the fact of not worrying about what people thought. It was the fact of I had played the fear game so long, saying I didn't have this, I didn't have that, I didn't have this, and I'm gonna give you credit. And when I did a talk with you about some things, and you were like, "Yeah, I did this on the iPhone," or this on, I was like, "Wait a minute, hold on. You mean they doing it?"
Excuse me. I do not use an iPhone. I am a Galaxy girl. Thank you. Continue.
Okay. Well, anyway, she showed me something somebody did on the iPhone, and I'm like, I'm making up all these different excuses. I'm like, wait a minute, man. If they do it on that, I got a camera that works just as well. I got everything I need. So yeah, stop worrying about what people thought. And then again, the third one, again, stop worrying about what people think, because people had their ideas of, well, it ain't gonna do this and that. When I left to go to college, Joe, people told my mama that I know, they didn't know I was gonna find out, but I found out. People told my mama that, he ain't gonna graduate. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's just that kind of stuff to where we can cause ourselves not to move forward.
Yes.
By listening and doubting ourselves, but then you cause yourself even more issues when you listen to other people, because only you know what your dream is. Yes. Only you know what it is you feel the passion to do. Like I said, Joe, you know, people don't know. When I was doing the video pieces for the 2 companies who I was working with before, I wasn't making no money, Joe. But it was the love of me doing what I could do when I could do it that was beautiful. Once I found my value and I say, hey, this is what it's gonna cost you, people had no problem paying it. So I'm like, damn, I ain't charging enough. But again, it was a move on to it. Forget what people think.
You say get past the fear.
Get past the fear. And then I say the third one, no, don't worry about what people think, because what they say, everybody has an opinion, just like one of those,
Yeah.
I got you, Joe. I got you.
Look, don't say it.
I got you, Joe. Joe, come on, baby. I got you.
All right, that is fantastic. Thank you so much. So, if this is very compelling, and I think you've revealed a lot. After you got out of the part about the videos and all that, you're like, look, this is what it is. And I think if people hear this, they will begin to understand. Colonel Sanders and Rodney Dangerfield, if anybody remembers him as a comedian, they found their purpose very, very late in life. They were in their 50s as well. Rodney Dangerfield might have even been over 50.
Yeah, I think
and so I guess, one of the reasons I wanted to do this series is because I wanted to focus on Black men in my life who I knew were up to some great things. And like you said, hey, I'm a regular guy, but it takes regular people to make this world move and to put more good in this world. I highly respect you. I think you are an amazing person. And so many of the attributes that you talked about, they're absolutely true. I just full disclosure, when I went to my senior prom, Cecil was there like a big brother to see me off.
Make sure you lie.
That was many moons ago. Several decades back.
You keep bringing this age thing in. You better leave it alone. You don't want to keep doing it. I ain't said a word.
So before we wrap up, if a young man were to ask you today, what are 3 pieces of advice you would give a young man today? So that could be in the area of career. It could be in the area of manhood. It can be in the area of faith, fatherhood, whatever it is. But what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give to a young man today in today's world?
Okay. And like you said, those 3 pieces all fit together for me. Like I say, first and foremost, always find a place that you can call home as far as worshiping and believing that God can, is, and will make a way for you. You got to believe that. Secondly, again, education. Some of the fellas I run into, the first thing is, hey, I need you to graduate high school. That's what I need. I need you to do that. Once you do that, we can open up the doors, but you have to graduate high school because there's so many kids dropping out and not, but finish high school.
Okay.
Educational wise. And then thirdly, find something that you love and do it. I mean, you don't have to do like we did, factories automatically. You can still work at a factory and then do what you love to do. But if you have a dream to do something, do it. And always treat people fairly. That's the 4th one. I just threw that as an extra gem. Treat people fairly, because if you treat somebody fairly, regardless, it'll come back to you. But when you start ripping people off or trying to ease your way into something else, it don't help. It's good for a fast run, but when it's over and you need somebody to help you, who can you turn to? So just always treat people the way you want to be treated.
Thank you so much. I was going to ask you, did you have any final thoughts? So that was perfect. We had a 4th gem. Cecil, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to share this with us today. I want to thank you for your friendship, for your decades of friendship, for your loyalty. And I'm so excited to see how your purpose continues to be fulfilled. We're so fortunate and blessed that we're still here on this side of COVID when so many people are not. So I just want to thank you so much. And you take great care, okay?
All right, you too now.
Thank you.